We have breaking news out of England ahead of this summer's European Championships, where manager Gareth Southgate has resigned his position amid a crippling worldwide shortage of waistcoats. Now, in a statement, Mr. Southgate thanked the FA for the opportunity, but said it would not be appropriate for him to continue in the role without the proper attire. Now, the FA has moved quickly to replace Southgate, with the new manager about to be unveiled, and also announce his squad for the tournament. Look, tell Pickford if he wants to be part of the squad, there will be no getting any raids on. Yeah, we'll make it clear. Okay, thank you everybody. Thank you. Let me start by introducing myself. My name is Aussie Villain and I am the new England manager, which is very exciting. Now, I believe you've all received the squad announcement press release, so we'll get to that in just a moment. But before that, do we have any questions? Yeah. Ernest Top-Bottom, Yorkshire Times. How do you think people will react to an Australian managing the England side? Yeah, look, mate, I mean, you've had Australians coaching the rugby team, the cricket team, the rugby league team as well. So, to be honest, I'm surprised it took this long. How far can England go? Yeah, well, look, I mean, the first job's going to be getting out of the group. And after that, we'll just take it one game at a time. And we'll just hope we avoid penalties. Will Harry Kane captain the side? Yeah, look, mate, I mean, we'll see. I'll assess the squad once we get together and see what we have. But, you know, I see no real reason to make a change. Would somebody shut that bloody band up? Hi guys, I'm Aussie Villain and welcome to England for the European Championships. Now, the plan for the next few weeks here is just to play through the Euros with as many countries as we can and see how many times, if at all, we can manage to win the tournament. So if that's something that you'd like to see, make sure if you are new to the channel, you are subscribing, ring the bell so you know when I upload new videos, and of course, hit thumbs up to help that infamous YouTube algorithm put this video in front of as many new people as possible. And let me know in the comments how you think we're going to get on with England, and of course, if you have any countries you'd like to see us play as, let me know in the comments as well. And there is in the description a link to the Discord, which I highly recommend. A lot of fun on the Discord, and of course my Twitter as well if you want to listen to me ramble on there for whatever reason. But well, it's England first up, and let's go and have a look, among other things, at the squad we've selected. You can see here we're ranked 4th in the world. We're going to stick with Harry Kane as captain, Henderson as vice-captain. There's no need to change it and risk upsetting players. It doesn't really matter. There's not like neither of them are going to be bad influences. But this is the squad that we've selected. So there it is there in its entirety. Now what we'll do is we'll go through and I'll sort of explain myself. I'm not completely convinced that who's going to play where. We've got a couple of friendlies that I've scheduled ahead of the tournament, so I'll play through those before next episode when we'll get the tournament underway, and get a better idea of exactly who I want to play where and even what formation we're going to play. I haven't sort of nailed that down yet either. But if we look at the goalkeepers, we've selected 3. Jordan Pickford is the first. Now if it's going to go alphabetical, is it? Probably it is, isn't it? Adam Ramsdale is the second, maybe a surprise to see him in there. And the third that we've selected is, and that's not going to work quite the way I would like it to, is Dean Henderson. Now, I actually think Henderson might be our number 1 choice. Now, the reason that obvious omission, obviously, is Nick Pope. The reason I've gone for these 3 is that they're all very good distributors of the ball, and that is, I think, the way that I'm going to want to play. So we've gone for 3 that are kind of all similar in their style. And yeah, Nick Pope's the unlucky one, but all 3 of them could, to be fair, I think they're all roughly the same and then could start for us. I think it's probably between Pickford and Henderson for the number 1 spot, but Ramsdale is not bad, so it could go any way there. But they're the 3 goalkeepers that I've selected. Now, if we have a look at the defence, and maybe the best way to do this is just to filter the squad down. Now, in terms of centre-backs, Harry Maguire was an obvious choice, wasn't he? He, of course, isn't injured in this particular world, so he's able to play for us. I think he's a no-brainer. He will start most games, if not all of them. Other centre-backs, John Stones. Yeah, I mean, I don't particularly rate him in real life, but we've just got to forget real life and we'll just play the game that's in front of us, and he is a good centre-back, so he's in the squad as well. Perhaps the bolter, uncapped Rob Holding. Again, just looking at the players that are in front of me and their attributes, he's quite good. So we've gone with him as he may not play too much, but he's in the squad. And I couldn't, of course, justify, not as a Villa fan, not picking Tyrone Mings. Now, one of the reasons that I did pick him as well, apart from the fact he may well partner Rob Holding, Maguire in defense. But what I do like about him as well is that he could come in and play as a defensive fullback if we're late in the game and we want to sort of close it down. He could go over there and just be really rock solid for us. So he's got sort of that two roles that I could see him playing for us. And the final centre-back that we've picked is Joe Gomez. Now, again, the reason we've picked him above people like, for example, Michael Keane, who's unlucky not to be in the team, is just the fact that he can cover a couple of positions for us. So that, I think, is a useful thing to have, particularly in a tournament squad. So that's the reason he's made it. Apart from the fact he's a good player, but he hasn't got the vision. He's not going to be a ball player like the other defenders could be. But yeah, just I think a little bit of utility value for us. So that's the centre-backs. Have a look at the full-backs. We'll start on the right, and Trent Alexander-Arnold is the obvious selection. He's a no-brainer, isn't he, really? A very, very good player, and I don't think anybody's going to disagree with that. And the other right-back we've chosen, and as we know, there is so many right-backs in England, but we've gone with Reece James. Now, the big omission in terms of names, that means, is Kyle Walker. But I just didn't quite think he was as good as the others, so we haven't picked him, but there's any other number of right-backs that could have gone. But he will be back up to Trent Alexander-Arnold, but a very good backup he'll be, and if he does need to play, I don't think there'll be too many concerns about him coming in. Now, if we move over to the left side, Ben Chilwell is I think the first choice guy. Again, just rock solid, isn't he? Good physically, good all round. Maybe it would be better if he was a better crosser than dribbler, but we'll take that. And again, he can fill in if we need him to in other positions. But we're picking him to be a left back or left wing back, whatever formation we play. And the other guy is Luke Shaw. Now, this might be one of these ones that's controversial, but if we just look at just the player in front of us, he's fairly solid, isn't he? He's quick. He's got good work rate and teamwork. He's decent defensively. So I think he is the best option. Now, I will give a bit of a shout out because I'm denied about who to pick for to be the backup left back. Now, Aaron Cresswell went very, very close. The reason I didn't pick him, not as good in the air as Luke Shaw. Everywhere else is roughly the same. So that was what prevented him from being picked. And the other player that I almost picked was Charlie Taylor from Burnley. I've got to be honest, I don't think I've ever heard of him before, but very, very good defensively, good crosser of the ball. I very nearly picked him. Let me know what you think if I did make the right decision there or not. But yeah, he was incredibly close to going to the European tournament, so that's maybe unlucky for him. Let's go back to the squad and have a look at our midfield. So we already knew he was in the team. Jordan Henderson, I think he's going to be a rock in the middle of the park. If we want to play defensive midfielder, he will probably be the man. If we need somebody a little bit further forward, again, he can play a number of roles in midfield, and I think he'll be very, very useful for us. His backup in pretty much every role will be Declan Rice. I almost didn't pick him. The fact that it was a 26-man squad and not a 23-man squad, as would normally be the case, that meant that I could find space for him. But yeah, he will very much be back up for Jordan Henderson. I don't ever see a situation where we're going to have two defensive midfielders, so he's just here as cover. The next man is James Ward-Prowse. I really, really like James Ward-Prowse. Now, the obvious threat he has is from a free kick. Good corner taker as well. He could, in theory, play as a right back. Just as fact he's a good crosser, not the best in the air, but again, if we're looking at a tournament squad, the fact that he can cover a number of positions for us is useful. But I really like him in there as a deep line playmaker, perhaps, and just almost a set piece specialist as well. So he will, I don't know, he might well be a starter for this team. The next man is Calvin Phillips, a little bit of a midfield all-rounder. Again, he can play a number of roles. He could be a deep line playmaker for us. He could go box to box. The sort of player that's really good in a tournament squad because he can play a number of positions. And to be honest, if you're managing him at club level, there's no reason why he couldn't be a right back, really. He's got sort of all the all-round qualities to do that as well. So he was someone that I think is going to be useful, even if they don't necessarily start too many games. The next man, obviously I was going to pick him, Super Jack Grealish. Now, obviously he can play wide. My thought is that he will be our number 10 or an advanced playmaker type. So I think he's going to play through the middle for us a little bit more. Basically, because I think that's where he'll be most dangerous. We have other good wide players that we'll get to in just a second. Who's wanted? He wanted by Paris. So obviously, I'm a Villa fan. Grealish was always going to feature, wasn't he? The next man, another of the attacking, more attacking midfielders anyway, Mason Mount. Again, one of these guys that could cover a number of different roles for us. He doesn't really have the vision, so I don't think he's a deep line playmaker, but box to box, he's got the work rate, the teamwork. He'll get up and down for us. I think, again, someone that probably won't start, but off the bench could be very, very useful for us. Next up, always going to be in the squad, wasn't he? Phil Foden. Again, he can play in wide areas, but I'm thinking we'll probably look to use him a little bit more centrally. I mean, what do you say about Phil Foden? It hasn't already been said. He's a wonderful talent, and he will, I'm sure, come in very, very useful for us at some point during the tournament. And the final midfielder is another one of these guys that we're just looking at the player in the game, not the player in real life, and so Dele Alli is in. I've always liked Dele Alli. He's a good all-round attacking option for us. He's got good vision, good flair, good dribbling, finishing, all that kind of stuff. Another of these guys that could play as a number 10 if we need him to. Maybe even as like a shadow striker off of Harry Kane. But yeah, I think Dele Alli, he's underrated, isn't he? I don't know why Jose doesn't like him, but anyway, he's in the squad, and I have absolute faith that he will do a wonderful job for us. Now let's check the wide players. So the first one is Raheem Sterling. He, again, a wonderful footballer. He could play on the left, he could play on the right for us. I might even experiment with having the wingers swap positions, and so we could have one on the right, since they're right-footed, as a winger, and then one on the left as an inverted winger, because I think most of our wingers, if not all of them, are right-footed, so that might be something we need to look to do. But physically, well, I mean, again, Sterling, what do you say? It's all been said, hasn't it? He's a very, very good footballer and a little bit of a no-brainer in the squad. The next man is Marcus Rashford. Now, it says he's an elite winger. I actually think we might use him in this squad as a striker, as an out-and-out striker, especially if we're playing two up top. But again, he's another one of these guys that as an inside forward, inverted winger, could be useful. Marcus Rashford, I mean, again, everything that needs to be said he has 46 caps at 23. He's going to have an absolute crap ton, isn't he? But yeah, so Marcus Rashford's in the squad. The next man is Jadon Sancho. Now, this is sort of the guy I was thinking of when I say we rotate or switch positions with Raheem Sterling. Get one of them on the right as a winger, one of them on the left as an inverted winger, and we'll just let them loose, really, isn't it? He's, again, a wonderful player, and, well, I'm looking forward to seeing him in action for us. So this brings us on to the strikers, and obviously, Captain Kane, well, if we're going to win anything, he's going to be a big, big part of it, isn't it? He's almost a number 10, isn't he? I mean, I wonder if we could play him as a number 10, as an advanced playmaker, and then stick Rashford up in front of him. Again, that's something I'll look to experiment with in the friendlies, but I say that now, and I actually think that might be the way to go. But he's a wonderful finisher. He's just got everything, doesn't he, Harry Kane? Very, very good player. Breaking news, Harry Kane, top quality player. Next man is Mason Greenwood. Again, he could play from a wide area. I think we'll look to use him as a striker, though. Yeah, again, good finisher, good flair. I don't need to explain these guys to you. We've all heard of them. We've all seen them play. He's a very good player, and hopefully he's going to get his first England goal playing in this tournament. And the final man in the 23-man squad is Tammy Abraham. Now, the reason I've gone for him is just for a little bit of height up there. It was pretty much between him and Dominic Calvert-Lewin. I almost picked Andy Carroll just for the lols, but we went with Tammy Abraham. And, I mean, he can cover some other positions. I don't think we'll need him in wide areas because we have other players that can play out there. But, again, versatility is not necessarily a bad thing when it comes to a tournament, is it? So that is that. So again, I believe I've covered everybody there. That is our 26-man squad for England for the Euros. Yeah, as I said, let me know how you think we'll get on. The schedule's not necessarily been the kindest to us. Croatia first. If we can get a draw there, then you'd fancy us, I think, to beat Scotland and the Czech Republic. But if we were to lose first up against Croatia, which is very, very possible, it does put the pressure on the next two games, doesn't it? But there we go. That's the way that the group is set out. Now, the way this is going to work as a series, Tuesdays, Thursdays, and Saturdays at 5 p.m. That's when the videos will be out. And yeah, the first episode will be the first 2 group games. So it'll be Croatia and Scotland. Massive, massive games. If you've enjoyed this, guys, do make sure you hit thumbs up for me. Don't forget to subscribe if you're new. And I'll see you next time as we get the qualifiers. We get the group stage underway. I'll play through these friendlies and we'll catch up any significant news. Hopefully we won't have any injuries, though there are obviously some good players that have missed out. And so let me know what you think of the squad. Who would have you chosen? Have I stuffed up not picking anybody? Again, let me know. I'd love to hear the feedback. So until next time, guys, when we get the tournament underway, I've been Aussie Bill, and thank you so much for watching. Take care.